nice to speak with you today.
Yeah, me too. It's very nice meeting you on, on this way. Besides all the emails that we have um, been talking to. So could you
On the
introduce?
other
Oh,
side of the world, it's quite strange.
yes. So could you introduce a little bit about yourself?
Yes, my name is Jessica Al Andary. I'm a holistic health coach. I came to my current position after having a bit of a transition in my life. I'm currently living in Saudi Arabia with my small son and trying to figure out how to have a healthy life in the middle of the desert surrounded by city.
Why is it difficult? This type of life, or yeah, changes in this new place.
When yes, it's just when you get to a new country, you have to find your resources and you have to find your health shops and the therapists and the friend circle that can support you. Um, so especially if you have a chronic illness, it can be a big challenge. It can be quite pricey finding a therapist that resonates with you, that can heal you and can help you on your way again. So it takes a lot of strength and support, finding a balance as well to be able to step into a new life and manage a big change.
Yeah. How many times have you changed countries?
Well, I've actually came to Saudi Arabia 10 years ago where I met my husband the first time. And since that, we've been traveling around the Gulf, around the Middle East, quite a few times. We've been when we got married, we went to Pakistan and Oman and Qatar. And most recently, I've been living in Lebanon. And now we're settling back into Saudi Arabia again.
Oh, that's amazing. You've been traveling a lot.
Yes, yes, and it really shakes things up because as soon as you have your comfort zone and you have your network and your people and your business, then you have to start fresh again. So it keeps you up to date and it keeps challenging you um, not to get too old.
Yeah. So could you share a little bit about your story too?
Yes, when I met my husband, we got engaged very quickly, in fact, and we traveled to South Africa to meet the family. And after a great journey to Cape Town, I had a very unexpected car accident, um, which changed my whole life. I was lucky to survive it. My family um, didn't know if I would survive it. All the doctors would could tell them is to hold on and wait. And then when I finally woke up, all they said is maybe I won't walk again, maybe. So you have a whole lot of maybes. It was quite severe. I had a head injury as well. I suffered from double vision for a long time. And my main challenge was four fractures in my pelvis, which has left me up until today, almost, well, 9 years later, with severe chronic pain, which influences my life in a massive way. Because even when I get really excited and I want to start something new and I'm motivated, then I have this barrier of pain I have to deal with and manage. And I really have to calm myself down. And often I can't necessarily do what I want to do. And I have to shift my perspective and really focus on self-care and nutritious healing foods and taking care of my primary foods, those things that satisfy my soul, so that in fact my body can heal and recover and be able to manage the stresses and challenges of life.
And how did this situation in your life, this experience, changed you to decide to change your career path or your mission in life?
Well, I wasn't able to work anymore. It took me a few years of trying and stopping and trying again, realizing that I'm just not physically able to work in the hotel industry anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then it sort of happened by accident. I met a great friend, and she was starting a new business, and she needed someone part-time, and that's all I could handle at the moment. And slowly, through Nicole's passion and abundant lifestyle, I realized that I can I can work with people and heal the world, even though I don't have a degree or a science background. I can teach people how to tap into their own resilience and how easy it is to have an amazing life.
So, can you tell us a little bit a story of or share a story about people that you have worked with?
Yes, it's been I've been focusing on women who are just overwhelmed with their life and not at the points where they want to be, and figuring out how to tap into their happiness again, and then identifying very gentle paths. How can they incorporate exercise into their life, even though they're very busy? What are easy foods that they can cook, because some women have never even learned anything in the kitchen or spent any time there. It's so easy to order from the restaurant. And then when you reach a point in your life when you realize you're very unhealthy, your skin is bad, and you need to take control, it's quite scary. So the main thing my clients have mentioned is how they've been brave enough to make changes they wanted to, even with their career or education, stepping into uncharted territories like the kitchen before, and working on relationships that they weren't brave enough to look at.
And why women especially?
I resonate with women. I am a woman. I understand the mood swings and the hormones, and I feel I have quite an intuitive perspective, and I'm gentle, so I gently help women to make the changes they need to. It's not aggressive. It's not a set of rules. We work together um, to bring in new habits and to make a few changes that ultimately bring them the joy they're looking for.
What is that people the women that you work with, sorry, what is the thing that they're looking for?
At this point in time, happiness. And sometimes it would be they come to me and they say they want to improve their skin tone or they want to get rid of cellulite. And once we start working together, we discover that there's much bigger challenges in their life that they find after working with the coach and delving into the things that are keeping them awake at night. It becomes easier to deal with the real issues.
So you think the people that look for this type of help is people that in their first mindset is just weight loss, and then they realize all the other things that they need to um not not
Well,
I don't want to say
it,
change,
it,
but
yes, the real issues, exactly. Having extra weight or not feeling comfortable in your own body is just a symptom of something else that's wrong in your life. And I've now changed my target market. I'm now focusing on people who are dealing with chronic ill and who are recovering from illness and manage a chronic condition in their life, because I've realized this is where my strengths lie. I understand it so much more. It's if you don't live with pain, it's very hard to be able to understand it. How it affects your moods and your energy levels and your motivation. Even if you have the best of intentions, sometimes it's hard not to be too hard on yourself, especially if you don't have a support system. So that's where a coach is very useful, to help you be realistic with your abilities.
so what has being the biggest challenge for you as a coach?
Um, well, the biggest, you mean what is the biggest challenge people face?
That you have faced with people as a coach. What challenge? What challenges you the most with clients? What type of client or
I think
situation?
the biggest change is the mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the biggest challenge is mindset people have. They tell themselves stories which may or may not be true. It might be from their childhood. So we work together to if it's untrue, to break this disbelief and be able to give them freedom to believe in themselves. I think that's probably mindset. Women don't believe in themselves. They have all these stories they tell themselves in their minds about not being good enough and wanting to achieve more and more and more. So working on mindset and self-love is a big part of the coaching.
And how do you address with people who they don't know how to change that? I think there are people that are already programmed for those types of feelings and thoughts.
Definitely. Exactly. And some people feel want to change, but perhaps they're not ready to change. And that's why coaching is a great process, because you get to have conversations over a 3 or 6 month period and gently look at the areas and just give people one or two things to work on so that they're not overwhelmed in changing their whole personality, because frankly that's very hard to do. So really just focusing on one or two small things, focusing on things that they have control over, for instance their meals, their foods, because once they have success in one area of their life, it does filter in through another, and then they feel more empowered to be able to make those changes that are so tough.
Yeah. And what has rewarded you the most as a coach?
um well, getting those messages from your clients about how they've overcome an obstacle that they never thought they could, or sending you a recipe of their first meal they've cooked, if they've been working, promising themselves for 6 months they're going to do it. So what makes me happy is the success of the client being able to do something they thought they couldn't do.
Oh, that's awesome. It's an amazing feeling. Um, about
Yes.
about your journey. Um, what do you recommend with people who have chronic pain or a chronic disease? How could they start their process to healing?
My first, there's so many points I thought about, and I think if you have a strong support network in terms of people, family, friends, as well as medical, that you can get the help you need, this gives you opportunity to step away from the pain and then to manage your expectations, to be realistic about your capabilities.
So looking first for for a support group would be like one big step.
Yes, so that you don't feel like you're all alone, you're the only one suffering with this problem. If you're able to find a mentor that you can look up to, who can encourage you, who you can strive towards, to know that someone else has gone through what you're going through and you can overcome this obstacle and achieve your dreams and your wildest desires.
Mm-hmm. Wait, what I have heard in people, especially, is that they feel that their problem is they're the only person suffering in this planet. Do you think that's a common feeling?
Yes. Yes. When you're going through the depths of your illness or your pain, you feel very isolated. If you have some strategies in your pockets to help you get out of this position, out of this place of darkness, then it's easier to recover. For instance, having a breathing practice that you've already practiced so that you can do this, having a gratitude practice, recognizing your own warning signals and setting boundaries. So having this conversation with yourself before you're in the depths of pain to realize that there are ways to get out of this place, and that it's not your only reality, that you have another reality in your life that you can step into.
That's an amazing. I forgot the word thing to say, because I am surrounded by people that are just suffering because they can, because they think that they should. So
Yes.
sometimes it's just a little bit frustrating knowing that there are people going through even more difficult processes, and they still feel like they are the only ones suffering in the
Yes.
world. So that's a good
Yes.
good
I
practice.
think you you have to make a decision within yourself. How do you want to live your life? Are you going to be stuck in your story? Or are you going to live an amazing life? Because if you've had some problem or some tragedy hit you in your life, your life might be over, or you can't predict how much time you have. So my philosophy is just to take whatever I can from life, to get the most out of it, even if I have to do it with pain. And most of the times I do suffer through pain when I'm having fun and creating nice memories with my family. But the alternative is lying on the couch and feeling sorry for myself. So what do you rather want to do?
Yes, it's in your own power to decide what to do.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, last question. Um, if you could describe your journey in one word, what would that be?
For me, it's resilience.
Why resilience?
The reason I I hold on to this is because if you have a chronic condition, you keep being knocked down, even if you come up again. So knowing that I am resilient and I can stand up again, and I'm tough and I'm buoyant and flexible, no matter what comes into my life, what challenge I'm faced with, I have the inner strength to be able to overcome it or to deal with it.
Awesome. Would you like to add something else for the people who are listening to this interview?
Just know, if you're going through a hard time in your life, just take a deep breath and realize that tomorrow is a new day, and you can start everything different, and you can change everything in your life if you want to.
No. Thank you, Jessica. It's been awesome talking to you. I hope
And
all these stories and all these chats and interviews help people to realize the power they have in themselves.
that would be wonderful. Thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure, and have a great day.